If you've been planning a trip to visit France soon, you wouldn't be alone. Back in the old days, before we had to worry about pandemics, France was the most visited country in the world, with nearly 90 million arrivals in 2019. That came to somewhat of a screeching halt in 2020, but luckily it's 2021 now, and I am happy to report that France has officially reopened for international tourism. You can travel to France just for fun, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how. Let's start with when. France officially opened on June 9th, 2021, and hopefully it's still open when you're watching this video. Now, your next question is probably who is allowed in. Okay. France has created this color-coded map with green countries, orange countries, and red countries. Green countries are the countries that can come in without any restrictions, and this includes all EU member states and a few other European countries, and also some third country nationals. So this is citizens of Australia, New Zealand, Israel, Lebanon, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore as of June 12th. If you're from a green country, you can travel to France if you're vaccinated without any other restrictions. No quarantines, no testing, nada. Now, if you're from orange countries, I'm guessing this is like the yellow caution countries, this includes the US, Canada, and the UK, then you can still travel to France, but you will need a combination of proof of vaccine and a negative PCR or rapid antigen test. The PCR test has to be within 72 hours prior to arrival in France, the antigen test within 48 hours prior to arrival, and the proof of vaccine has to be one of the EU-approved vaccines, which includes Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and Johnson & Johnson. And so you're going to want to go to France's website. I'll link to the resources in this video's description and get France's Green Certificate COVID app. So every country in the EU will have their own version of the EU Green COVID Certificate. France has theirs. It's called the Tu Anti-COVID app, and you can get it in the Apple Store or the Google Store. So far, it looks to be in French. I don't know if they have an English version yet. You're going to need that if you are from the green list or the orange list. Now, those of you who are from the red list cannot travel to France for non-essential reasons. So you can't go for tourism right now. And I have the full list of those 16 countries: Argentina, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, India, Nepal, Pakistan, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Suriname, Turkey, and Uruguay. And what happens if you're from an orange country but you're not vaccinated? Well, you won't be able to travel to France because France is only allowing vaccinated travelers. There are some other countries that you can go to if you don't have the vaccine but you have a negative PCR test or you have proof of immunity, but we'll cover those in separate videos. So if you don't have the vaccine but you have to travel to France for some reason, you would need to prove that you're going for an essential reason, and then you would still have to pass a test and quarantine for 7 days upon arrival. These regulations are in effect for anyone who is 11 years old or older, but if you have kids under 11, they should be able to travel with vaccinated parents. And then once you get to France, what is open? After June 30th, most of the rules should be lifted, but as of June, we have restaurants open outdoors at 100% capacity, indoors at 50% capacity, parks and other outdoor places are open at 100% capacity, gyms are open, tourism sites are open with some social distancing guidelines in place, but it depends where you go and how many people they want to pack in there. Nightclubs are not quite open yet, but concerts and sporting events are open, and probably within about a month from publishing this video, they should have concerts and events with 1,000 or more people, including indoors, so that's good news. Oh, another thing is that masks are required in France, so keep that in mind. Something else you should be prepared for is that I found that restaurant owners can be required to collect customer details for contact tracing. So according to Forbes, many business owners have taken up the government's offer of a QR code that can be scanned with a smartphone to collect details from their customers. So if you go to a restaurant or a shop, they might ask to scan your phone to collect this information. So news of France's reopening has prompted especially U.S. airlines to open a flood of new direct flights to France. Delta and Air France have announced a lot of new routes, American Airlines, United Airlines, and I'm sure other international airlines as well. Within Europe already, this has been a huge boom, with some companies reporting a 600 up to 1,300% increase in bookings. So in previous travel updates that we've done, I've said to maybe wait a little bit before booking your travel, but in this case, it seems like the longer you wait, the higher the plane tickets might get. So if you have your heart set on going to France, Spain, Portugal, or any of the more popular destinations, then even with this increased volume of flights, prices are still going up. So you'll just have to do your research. But Delta is currently serving Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport up to twice daily from Atlanta. They also have a flight from New York, JFK, and 3 times a week out of Detroit. A service to Paris from Minneapolis, St. Paul is also 3 times a week, and daily service from Boston will begin on August 5th, 2021. There will also be a new 3 times per week daily service from JFK to Nice, France, starting on July 8th. There's even an Air France route between Paris and Denver, so check that out. Any other questions about travel to France or other countries in Europe, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to my channel for more weekly travel updates, and see you in the next video. We are happy with our baguettes.